I think this match might be pretty epic. Whoa. Whoa. What an intro. But, you know, I try to keep the banter light and playful, but sometimes the game just gets kind of dark. I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it should be a fun one. Epic, strong player. Solid NA Terran. Dark, of course. We were just talking about Dark. He's like chaotic evil. He's a crazy man. Has some crazy builds, but also the scariest thing about Dark is that his just like standard play is so incredibly good. That for somebody like Epic, who, you know, this is going to be a tough match for him, he not only has to worry about Dark, like, doing a crazy Roach Ravager push early on in the game, something that Dark is extremely good, I would say the best in the world at, right? Our big Roach Ravager shoves across the map. That will just kill a Terran. But also, like, if Dark just says, I'm just going to play standard, Epic has to worry about that too. Like, what do you do then? Now Dark's macroing, and Dark's the kind of guy that the moment he decides to macro, it feels like his hive is done and he's at 87 drones on 5 bases, and you're like, how did you do that? It's kind of incredible. I love when he hits them with like a Roach Ravager, but it's not 100% all-in committed. And behind it, he just does that. He just gets right into a hive. He'll like start moving across the map with roaches and throw down the infestation pit. Double expand and just pump drones while he pushes with roaches and ravagers. And then the moment his opponent is holding, he's just got like lurkers on the way already. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love Dark. His gameplay is some of the most exciting to watch consistently. And I imagine some of the most difficult to play against. But Epic, I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of Epic's games lately. I know we do have, you know, the ESL Masters going on right now. I haven't really followed it, honestly, because I forget that it's happening and go to work and don't put it on and then look at the results later. But I feel like generally I usually consider Epic to be a mech player, or at least favor that kind of play more than maybe a lot of Terrans do. So we'll see if he ends up going for something like Cyclones or anything cheeky like that. Obviously, it's a pretty standard opening. He's got Hellions coming out. And he's probably just going to be making Banshees from this starport in a little bit. Third CC is almost done. It's just a macro opener. Dark, not showing any signs of anything too crazy yet. There is a Roach Warren on the way. And no lair has started, so I'm starting to wonder if Dark's got some plans. Ooh, speaking of plans, okay, Epic. Bringing some of that NA spice to this game. He's going to be going for a battlecruiser. Now, we have seen some players able to utilize these BCs really, really well. In some really interesting ways. Of course, the BC opener against Zerg was an absolute classic back in the day. Can still be quite good. I do worry about this against somebody like Dark, though. Dark is the kind of player that can just shut these down in a scarily, seemingly very easy way. However, this is a Roach push from Dark. First BC is started. Roach is already coming across the map. BCs take a very long time to build. Now, these Hellions, I think diving in is the right call here, because maybe he can delay this a little bit and keep these Roaches back. The Roaches are going to start moving across the map. This is why you want a Banshee as the Terran against Dark. This is why the Banshees are so important. These Hellions are not going to be able to defend on their own. Oh, the bunker just started. The first Roaches are here, though, and this BC is only halfway done. And this is the problem with opening Battlecruiser. One Cyclone does pop out. Cyclone can be very good here, even in its slightly nerfed state. But the lack of wall is so painful. The Roaches don't even have to bust through that. They can just jump on top of this. The second Cyclone is out. There's a couple of Hellions here trying to help out as well. Reaper comes back. One Cyclone goes down. The other one does get to the high ground. I mean, this looks like it's going to be held, but it is going to be painful. The SCVs might need to be pulled to fight. Epic does have a third CC, but the Battlecruiser's now out. Dark is going to hit that Battlecruiser with a Bile, and he's just going to try to trade out with these units as best as he can. But cancels on both of those. More Cyclones are out. SCVs can go back to mining. Epic, again, triple SCV production. Can land mules. He's going to teleport across the map and try to hit this third. The Sport Crawler is about to finish. Great timing from Dark. VC still should be able to get a little bit of damage done, but ooh, these Queens getting an immediate surround and forcing this VC to retreat. It teleported in, which means it cannot teleport out. However, this base is very exposed. I say right as the Queens are now able to walk through, so.
Oh man, Chickenman.
I guess not too exposed. Con, thank you so much for the resub. Oh my god, 42 months, Con. What an absolute hero. Hot diggity. I hope you're doing well. I feel like I haven't gotten to see you in a while. Well, Dark's Queens pushed the BC way. I believe there was a second BC out. There is. But it looks like after that, Epic is not going to continue Battlecruiser production. Yamato has not been upgraded. So not even spending the money on that. And instead just, I think, hoping Dark maybe overcommits a little bit to the defense here. And there is a Spire on the way. Oh, this BC teleported in. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Get out of there, Battlecruiser. Run. Run away. Get that Battlecruiser out of there. He just got out of there. 34 hit points. That is not very many. Armory goes down, but this is entirely bio coming out of Epic now. So he's going to be going for Marine Tank, it looks like, is the game plan. 1-1 is almost done for those Marines as well. They're going to be quite strong. So Dark sticking on Roach Ravager with some Lings coming out now. A Bane Nest on the way. He seems pretty well set for this. There's that Infestation Pit to get into Hive. We're going to have a slugfest on the ground. Now, the BCs can still be used for harassment, right? They don't have Yamato, which is a bit unfortunate. But they could try to come in here. However, if Dark just makes like a handful of Corruptors, those BCs are going to be sad if they ever teleport across the map. But they're also going to be very useful playing defense. If Dark decides to move across with Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager, those two BCs can consistently just output damage. That could be a tough thing to contend with. Dark's army is quite large, though. And remember, Epic's army, a lot of that supply, 12 of that supply is in those two BCs. So the ground army for Epic right now is not super huge. He does have 1-1, though. Stim is done. Combat Shield is not, so we've got to be a little bit careful. Those are lower hit point Marines. He's just trying to clear some creep, push this back, see what his opponent's got going on. He is going to see the size of that army, and that is going to be a... it's a worrisome moment when you see your opponent is like nearly maxed. Epic on 160 supply, though. I mean, this is still a very big army for Epic. And if those tanks are sieged up and get some good shots off, it could be a bit dicey for Dark. Dark has a few Ravagers he can bile down. The tanks, there's only 2 siege tanks here, or 3 siege tanks, excuse me. The Lings, though, going for a big counterattack. There's so many Marines back at home that if Epic looks, I think he'll have this defended. But he's more focused on the other side of the map. He's diving in. Bane Speed is not done yet. Epic, he's not watching, though. Bane Speed finishes up. Well, the Banes turn around. One of the tanks does get biled down.
Oh, man, Chickenman.
Oh,
wow.
man. Oh, man, indeed. Epic pulling back into tank range now. The BC's trying to do their best. Another tank gets biled down, and I feel like there's just not enough splash damage here for Epic. Meanwhile, back at home, 30 SCVs went down. There's still one Ling being annoying here. That is a crazy amount of damage. It looked like there was enough Marines to hold on, but Epic focus in the wrong spots in the wrong time. And that's the real power of the counterattacks, is forcing your opponent to look home. And then the moment they do, that's when you engage with the army. Dark played that beautifully, played it perfectly. He's going to bile down another tank without taking too much damage. Epic still has a lot of army on the map. The army supplies are very similar. One of the BCs is very low, but that's still a lot of damage getting output there. Dark's going to come in with Corruptors. That's army supply not affecting these ground units, though, so the BCs will die. Is there enough on the ground for Dark to clear the rest of this? I think there might actually be enough for Epic to keep on pushing forward. Ling reinforcements are coming out, though. The second BC is going to go down, and it's just Marines left. There's only, I don't even think there's another tank left. And now the Corruptors can just kill these, the medevacs, excuse me. And that's Epic's problem, especially as the Marine count dwindles. Now he's trying to just boost and get out of there. Dark, he's going to wait for reinforcements. He's got a Greater Spire on the way. He's got Ultras on the way. Oh my god, is he going to get to Ultra Brood? But the big thing here is that Epic, he's on a very low eco. 45 SCVs, but there's no fourth base with this. This is supposed to just be the 8 racks follow-up to the BC opener. He wanted Dark to commit to anti-BC stuff and then just hit him with way more Marines than you expect. That's why Epic's army has been able to be so big this whole game. This is very committed 3-base play from Epic. I love this build from Epic. And we see how, even for Dark, who is going to be put himself in a decent position at the start, this has still been a little bit more difficult than I think he was expecting to clean up. But after pushing that first army back, it just gets easier and easier. Dark on 78 drones, 6 bases. He's just going to be able to hold this indefinitely. And as Epic falls under 100 supply, it feels like we are moments away from the GG. There it is. Dark takes game number 1. Fun BC opener, though. Gotta say. I do really like that build from Epic. I'm sure that is some build that's been around. But I just like those kinds of planned builds work so well. And I think in a world where, I mean, again, it's that first roach attack, right? This is what Dark does. Epic has this cool build. He's got this cool build. And then Dark just disrupts it with those roaches. That's the whole point of Dark's roaches, is to disrupt whatever build his opponent is planning, right? Even if, I don't know, maybe technically that wasn't worth it for Dark, but you know the moment he's in there, pulling those Hellions back, forcing the BC to defend, forcing the SCVs to run away, it's worth it. It's worth it because it puts all this pressure on Epic. If you're hitting with a BC on one side and Hellions are on the other side, really difficult to defend for Dark. But because he's forcing those Hellions home and then kills them all, and then the BC teleports across, but there was time for Dark to prepare, suddenly it puts Epic in this spot where he has to get damage done with the BC, and then Dark just defends it. The BC does almost no damage, and then Epic's just behind from there. It makes that follow-up so much less powerful as well if you're not able to get that early game damage done. If those BCs kill like 12 drones, completely different game. Completely different game. Anyways, speaking of completely different games, we're in game 2 now. Crimson Court. And in the Crimson, in the upper right, we have Psystorm Gaming's Epic. Looking pretty good in game 1, but not good enough to take down his Zerg opponent. One of the best in the world. It is Dark. Talon's Dark. And Juvia, thank you for the resubscription as well. 38 months. We have some long-term subscribers in the chat right now with Khan and Juvia. Juvia's been around a very long time in this channel, and I very much appreciate you. I hope you're both doing well. It's nice to be here on a Monday casting EPT again. You know, I haven't been able to do this a ton recently, and honestly, I'm not going to be able to cast too many EPT cups in the future. Today is a special surprise because I messed up. There was recently I was working on a play, and I was building the set for it, and I thought today was the strike of the set. Turns out it was yesterday. I completely messed that up, but I had taken the day off of work, so I was like, well, I guess I get to gas DPT. But I have to work on Mondays usually now. So hopefully at some point I'll be able to get Mondays off again. It's possible. I'll say it's possible I can get Mondays off again in the future, but we shall see. I'll cast as many EPT cups as I can in the meantime. If Epic had put the eBays in the wall, how different is the game? Asks Colossal Gulp. Oh man, RIP that Reaper. Doesn't even get a kill. Yeah, I agree. Sad times. I actually think if Epic put the eBays in the wall, I think that's bad for him. Either the roaches just kill a supply depot and get in 4 seconds later, or the roaches kill eBays, right? Like there's a chance there that maybe the roaches do get to kill one of the eBays or something. And honestly, Epic's 1-1 timing is a big part of the reason that attack was so scary with the Marines. Like that 1-1 timing is crucial. But I don't think that necessarily helps there. It's kind of weird, but I feel like in that situation, it's like you almost need to scout the Roach Warren from Dark. It's tough because Dark builds Roach Warrens like every single game. But maybe a Banshee. I don't know, maybe a Banshee before the BC is the way to go. Specifically just against Dark. It's so weird, but if there's just a Banshee out and that point in the game, which that Banshee would have been done, I think Epic holds so much more easily. Like one Banshee just outputs so much damage. Now this is really nice for Epic. He gets in. The Lings are slow. They do not have speed. Speed isn't even on the way. Dark was planning a Roach attack. 10 drones going down. Plus the 4 Lings that were out also falling. The Queens are now chasing this last Hellion here. But that is 11 dead drones. Oh my god, and 2 more Hellions dive in. Also, he scouts the Roach Warren and the lack of speed. And I feel like at this point, Epic's got to be thinking that there's going to be a Roach follow-up. Dark misclicks over here on the minerals, so isn't even mining right now. 13 drones going down. Epic's in a fantastic spot. And he's got Banshee follow-up. So his Cloak Banshee follow-up, it can defend if Roaches come across the map, which they're not. Dark transitioned. He's going into a lair, and he's just hitting the drone button right now. As he realizes a Roach attack here would put him basically all in. He was definitely planning a Roach attack, though, because he skipped Ling speed. And I feel like that, without a super early lair, tells me he was planning a Roach attack. Changes plans, though. This is the scary thing about Dark, is he is not one-track minded in every single game. But now this Banshee can do some harassment. And even if it doesn't get a lot of damage done, Spore Crawlers going down at every base is painful when you've already lost 13 drones. And the Banshee is getting a little bit of damage done, at least. I believe there's a second one here too. Good Spore positioning from Dark, so only 2 drones falling so far. I think that will be all it is for now. Epic, though, has a 3rd CC finished up. It looks like he's going to take this base. I wonder if this base would be better to take, because I feel like you can just wall here. And you have a great push position to potentially get in over here if the Zerg tries to mine this out and sneak at you. I don't know. Looks like he's going to go take this base, though. And he's got Marines and tanks following this up. This one, at least for now, is just 5 Raxes. We'll see if he puts down 3 more and goes for a big concerted push. But Epic's 1-1 is quite a bit ahead of Dark's. Again, Dark, he hard transitioned out of just going for that early game Roach attack. So now he's got a very fast Infestation Pit. He's getting some Roaches and some Infestors out now to hold off this attack, but he's heading into +1 melee. So that tells me Lings and Banes are the eventual strategy here, and these Roaches are just to try to hold on, which Dark needs to do. because Epic is here. There's a siege tank. There's 2 cloaked banshees. And no detection for them right now. These banshees are just outputting free damage. It's mostly on queens. But it doesn't even really matter. The tanks and marines are cleaning up the roaches, and these queens are running out of transfuse energy. And that's a bit of a problem here. The lack of a sport crawler or the lack of an overseer is so painful. Now the marines are pretty much all dead. And this base, it looks like it is going to live for now. The overseer is here. Oh my god, but the queens are falling. I think this last queen does it. There is also an infestor. Oh my god, the last queen died. The infestor, though, is going to finish off that banshee. No! 1 hit point after the fungal. That's wild. There's another tank here, though, and more marines. Epic has reinforced this position. However, as more roaches pop out, he decides to pick up and leave. This is a lot of roaches for Dark to have to make right now, and this base is so low. This is like Han. This is Han right here. You know what I mean? You guys get that joke? Because he's Han Solo, and this base is so low in hit points. Also, there's no transfuses because all of the queens died. So all these queens are now new that have popped out. They have no energy. They gotta inject. So there's no transfuse to keep this base up in hit points. I would not hate to see Epic just try to drop in on this base. Even like a single medevac drop of marines. If that just stims forward, I think you could just kill this base. Sacrificing like 8 marines for it. Oh, wouldn't hate to see him try. But instead, he's just going to hard push that base. And you know what? That's a good strat as well. There are a lot of rocks here to stop this, but turns out marines are pretty good against that. Epic is missing a bit of a trick here, though. No +2 armor being researched right now. 2-2 is solidly on the way for Dark. And Dark has now had some time. He's up to 75 workers. He's been able to mine from this base. Even if it dies soon, this one's going to be up not too long. He can transfer drones over there, and I think he's going to have to. I do not think he holds here. Scan forward, sees the infestors. Lings and Banes are coming through. They're going to connect with some of those marines, but yeah, Dark just evacuates this base. I think that's absolutely the right call. Now, does Epic want to keep pushing? It looks like the answer might be no. He kills the base, forces Dark to pull back. Honestly, I kind of like pulling back here. Ooh, big Ling counterattack trying to come in. Epic spots it, though, and Dark decides not to commit because Epic knows it's coming. Epic is going to keep pushing, but he is moving through the middle of the map now. Does he have 8 Raxes here? He does have 8 Raxes. Hey, look at that. Ooh, big fungal hits a lot of these units, but no follow-up right now for Dark. A lot of bio sitting out front waiting for those infestors to walk forward. And actually, good target fire from Epic. He doesn't quite get the infestor, though. 8 hit points left on that bad boy. But Epic's going to keep pushing forward. Oh, this is a big on siege right now. The Baneling's going to try to take advantage of it. Getting in on top of the bio, getting some big bio connections. Is it enough, though? There's still some more Banes behind this. A couple of fungals hit as well, but 2 of the 3 tanks are still left alive after those vials. There's a marine drop back here trying to pull some of the units away, giving some space for Epic on the front line. Big fungal opportunity. It's a decent one. I think there's still another fungal available. There's another big one, but the infestors are starting to fall. Queen's going down as well. Some Vipers are out with full energy. Beautiful blinding clouds. Oh, the Marines and Mirage is trying to walk forward, but they can't shoot anything. But I think Epic might have this anyways. 20 SCVs dying in a counterattack, but I think the Lings are going to get cleaned up here. Oh, Ultra's popping out, but they're so papered. GG gets called. Epic ties the series up. What a game. Man. Beautiful game there from Epic. And I mean, again, that really comes down to the early game. In this case, Dark took a bit of a risk. He went for no Ling speed. He was going to try to push with some roaches and again disrupt Epic's game. But before those roaches could come out, before they could be useful at all, the Hellions got in, took advantage of 4 slow Lings being the defense, and Epic killing 13 drones, putting himself in a fantastic spot against somebody who skipped Ling speed, had a roach warren that ended up not getting used for a while, and Dark had to hard transition. Epic just full macro mode into a 3 base, 8 racks, hard push. He just put himself in a fantastic spot, was able to close that game out. Damn. Absolutely sick game from Epic. And now we're headed to a game 3. We're all tied up. And one game away from knocking out one of the favorites to win this bracket today. It is Epic, spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Site Delta. His opponent, of course, in the lower right, 2019 world champion. It is Talon's Dark. All right. Yeah, what seed is Dark? Is Dark the top seed in this bracket? He is, yeah. Dark is the #1 seed in the bracket. This would be a huge upset. And I mean, one game away from it. It's feeling possible. Feeling possible. That being said, there's an element of luck in StarCraft that, you know, can't be. It's not in the game. What it is, it's in the strategies. And there's, you know, different strategies have different levels of risk. Again, Dark went for a strategy. He took a bit of a risk last game and left himself vulnerable to those Hellions coming in. That was a big risk, and Epic took advantage of it. I was it's funny, I was just saying earlier in one of the other series, I don't like when Terrans dive in with their Hellions. Usually, it's not worth it. You lose a lot of your map presence, a lot of your map control. But in that game, it was absolutely worth it. No link speed for Dark meant that even after the Hellions were dead, he still didn't have any map presence, right? And the Hellions got plenty of drone kills to pay for themselves. 13 drone kills is huge at that stage of that game. Specifically with Dark playing the way he was. And you just love to see it. We love to see an NA Terran take a game off of Dark. I don't think Dark loves to see it, though, and I don't think he's going to be happy about it. I'm interested in what Dark's going to do here. Dark is the kind of player where he might just go for like a 3-base Roach Raptor all-in to try to really absolutely kill Epic. That's a Dark thing to do. He could also just macro. That's a bit more of a safer play, right? He could just play a standard macro game, knowing that in general that's going to work out for him favorably, right? But that also opens the door for the higher possibility of mistakes, something that Dark doesn't make a ton of, but some games you make one mistake and that can just be the end of it. This time the Reaper has 2 link kills and stays alive. I don't know, Epic's got to be feeling pretty good. No Roach Warren going down for Dark just yet, so not going for super fast Roaches. Just going to take a nice 3rd base. Link speed is done. Just chilling for now. Does feel like a macro game out of Dark. And Epic going for a 1-1-1 here. No quick 3rd CC this game. So not the same build we saw in game 1. This is a bit more like game 2. If I remember correctly, I think the 3rd CC in game 2 is a little bit later. So yeah, there it goes now. Goes down now. This is a lot safer against those kinds of Roach plays that Dark loves to do. Right? And last game we saw the Roaches never ended up coming out for that push, but it's just the Banshee's going to be faster. Yeah, it's just a safer play here for Epic. I like that he changed that up after game 1 when those Roaches really disrupted everything he wanted to do. But this game, we're not seeing any Roaches. Bunch of drones coming out for Dark. He's just droning up on 3 bases. This is what I'm talking about when I say Dark might just play a macro game. This is what it is. Standard, solid macro. His lair's on the way. Link Queen opener. And I think Dark has got to be feeling pretty good. He is very supply blocked, though. It's funny when you see an Overlord die, and it supply blocks Zerg, and then they start like 3 Overlords. Because it also tells you that they were pretty much supply blocked anyways. Bad feeling for the Zerg player, but. Bane Nest. Not seeing any Evo Chambers just yet for Dark. As I say it, Dark puts them down, so that's good. But they do feel a bit late, I would say, considering 1-1 is started up for Epic. I think usually, unless you're going for something like a Spire, where, I mean, Dark may end up going for a Spire, but then you might want to delay the Evo Chambers a little bit to save some gas. But as I say that, they pop. He starts up 1-1. It's really not that far behind Epic's. Don't think it'll be too big of a deal. Banshee's looking for some damage here. Not getting much, it seems. Yeah, just a couple of units going down here and there. Not a lot of opening damage coming out of Epic this game. So this is where Dark can excel, right? As the Terran, you kind of want to get some stuff done. Dark is just not going to let that happen. And that's going to make whatever follows it up a little bit weaker. I do like that Epic didn't try to dive in with his Hellions at all. Keeping them alive here ends up being really nice, because now this small army is a little bit more difficult for Dark to deal with. 4 Hellions can add a lot in when you're just on Lings right now. A few Banelings are being morphed. There are some Queens too, of course. But there is a Siege Tank here with this. And some more units coming across in these medevacs too. Epic. This is going to be a very nice push. Let's see how Dark handles it. These Slings are looking for a counterattack, and you know what? The door is open. The third base is feeling exposed. The Banshees are coming home. Oh, but it looks like the Lings are going to pull back for now. Big stim out of Epic here. There are some Banes. Bane speed is done, but Dark doesn't have a lot of units here. He is going to hit on the backside maybe with the Lings. Yeah, he's trying to position to get some flanking going on these Siege Tanks. Tanks do not deal with full surrounds very well, but Dark is waiting. He's trying to buy some time, sending the Queens in first to tank the hit. Baneling's getting targeted down, but there's so many Banes. Epic is forced to pick up and leave. He's going to go into the main base and keep Dark back at home. Loses those tanks, but still a lot of Marines here. Not a lot of Banelings left, but enough Lings to get a full surround. Good target fire on the Banes, but Epic is going to have to back out. Oh, the Queen stayed on the low ground. Dangerous moment there. The double drop is still alive. There's still quite a few Marines here threatening. And we could see Epic move out to the other side of the map. He's got another big army back at home. So he could try to hit in 2 locations. He's got to be careful not to lose too much here. Dark's creep spread is starting to look pretty good, though. So if Epic does want to push on the top side, he's going to have a lot of creep to kill. But there's a fresh base up here that he could start working on. Doesn't have a lot of creep around it. However, Dark has already considered this. He's got Lings and Banes coming up here as we speak, and he still has Lings and Banes down here. He is splitting his army very nicely to deal with this. This is a lot of Marines, though. Where's the scan? Oh, Epic just stims forward. Scan coming in a little late. He might have been out of energy for a second there. There's only 3 Marines left in this drop. This one took a pretty big Baneling hit, so Dark doing a great job defending right now. There's another scan. Sees those Lings coming in. Gonna target fire the Baneling. Gets out of there. The target fire has been very nice, but that's only 7 dead Banes. It feels like it should be more than that. I guess some of them probably connected and exploded. I don't think they show up here when they just die on their own. The problem for Epic is Dark is doing the Dark thing. He has a Hive. Viper's coming out. Adrenal is on the way. He's also getting Burrow. Is that chitinous plating? Oh my god, that's chitinous plating. Yeah. His 2-2 is almost done. Both players' 2-2 is almost done. Dark trying to run in over here, but has to be a little careful. Doesn't want to lose too much. Epic is now on the defense a little bit as Dark tries to counterattack. Looks like Epic should be able to get 4 bases set up, but he's got to start getting into Ghosts, because we are at that stage of the game with Ultras and Vipers coming out. Chitinous 2/3 of the way done. There are some Marauders coming out, but I really feel like Ghosts are the next level here for Epic that he's going to need to get into. The army supplies are very similar. The upgrades are very similar. But Dark just has that slight edge in tech until Ghosts come out. I don't think we had any Infestors, though. So it is just going to be Viper, Ultra, Ling, Bane out of Dark. a very scary composition. Epic's going to be able to come down here, but Dark is just right nearby, so it's just going to be a few Lings trading out here. And then Epic's going to have to lift up and get out. Same time, moving in on the top side with another big drop. Eat some Baneling hits, but there were some Marauders in there too, so still a decent trade for Epic. Both players on very similar economies here. So I don't think trading evenly is too bad for Epic. That was a nice hot pickup, keeping drops alive on both sides. However, Dark in the meantime sending some Lings up here, forcing a lift up on this command center, forcing Epic to focus back at home. Ooh, Parasitic Bomb. And I'm just going to hit the low medevac. I don't even think that kills it. Oh, it does kill it. Epic needs a scan. Epic needs a scan. There it is. Ah, this drop has been cleaned up now. Maybe eating some Bane shots. The supplies are still very close. Still no ghosts coming out, though. Epic is completely on bio tank. Only a couple of Ultras and a couple of Vipers, though. It's mostly Ling Bane against bio tank. It's kind of insane. Blinding Cloud goes down, though. Kills a few of these tanks here. And at the same time, the Lings and Banes and one Ultra coming in up here, stopping this 5th base from becoming a planetary again, busting through this wall. The Banshees are here to help try to clean this up. They can only do so much as the Lings get into the mineral line at the same time. This base gets taken down. The Lings and Banes will get cleaned up, but that is a dead 4th base and a lot of dead SCVs at this 3rd base. We don't have the ticker, but Epic is down to 55 SCVs. That's a painfully low economy right now. He's got to get that SCV production going. Oh no. His barracks. Heal the barracks. Heal the barracks, Epic. Banshees have found the one Ultra. Takes a long time for Banshees to do that. Oh, where did these Lings come from? Were they burrowed? Lings getting in doing more damage, and these Lings gonna come in and do more damage as well. Tank unsieges, but it wouldn't have mattered either way. Epic's gonna have to lift his base. He's just going for a full shove. He's gonna try to bust in here and see if he can crack Dark. Dark has 4 Ultras, still those 2 Vipers left alive. Epic clearing some creep, moving forward, but his 4th base is completely dead. He built a Ghost Academy, but hasn't built any ghosts out of it. Looks like the Lings will finally get cleaned up. Can this push from Epic do it? He has so many medevacs out right now. The Baneling's coming in. He's got a big pre-spread. Blinding Clouds on all of the siege tanks. It's just the bio doing their best. Baneling's running forward, and I think there's just too much here for Dark. I feel like Epic's army is going to lift up and retreat. His army supply is still so good, but his 14 medevacs. So much of this army supply is in those support units. And Dark's army supply is almost entirely fighting out on the field. Ling's getting back in. Epic on 45 workers, most of them oversaturating the natural right now. Just not mining efficiently at all. Dark even clicking down more workers to bring him down to 43. There's still a lot of bio up here, but the Lings just constantly counterattacking. The Banelings and Ultras and Vipers holding back at home. I think it's only a matter of time before Epic runs out of steam. His army is still, like, his army supply is still so huge. But I just don't think it's going to be enough to take down Dark's army. Which, for the record, Dark's army supply is bigger. This base is almost dead, but even if that goes down, Dark is still going to have so much. Oh my god. Oh, the Parasitic Bomb on the medevacs. Doing so much splash damage as they bunch up. The bio stutter stepping, trying to take down these Ultras. But 3 more Ultras start up for Dark, so even as these 2 fall, even as the Banes go down, they trade decently with the Marines. And the Lings are back in the base again. Epic not able to mine from this 3rd base. The 4th base is completely dead and gone. All the extra CCs are gone. The Ultra burrows and dies anyways. But even forcing a scan there is so annoying. Epic, he needs to be able to mule. And he just can't do it. And Dark, in the meantime, still on a beautiful army supply back at home. Doesn't have a ton of Banes out right now. He does have a few morphing. The lack of Banes here is a little bit painful. Ooh, the army's a bit segmented right now. Oh, and these Ultras just getting beautiful service area on these reinforcements. Epic not realizing his army was in 2 different groups there. And as it groups up, it's now at half the supply of Darks. And despite a wonderful game 2, it feels like Dark is going to close this out. Doing what he does best. killing non-Korean players in EPT Open Cups. GG Dark takes the 2-1 victory over Epic. Such a sick series, though. Really, really good series there.